In the very beginning, before Earth itself came into being, was the Void. The dual god Ome-Teotel created itself. This god came before anything else. This god was good and bad, chaos and order, male and female. Being male and female, it was able to have children. It had 4 children which came to represent the 4 directions of north, south, east, and west. The gods were Huitzilopochtli, south, Quetzalcoatl, east, Tezcatlipoca, west, and Xipe-Totec, north. The 4 children began to create. They created water and other gods and the sea monster Chipatli. Chipatli was part fish and part crocodile, a massive creature as big as all things that now are. This was a consuming monster, a jaw at every point. Chipatli was to become the source of the cosmos in a strange way. As the gods continued to create, they had a problem. Their creation would fall into the water and be eaten by the dreadful Chipatli. So it was time for war. The 4 gods attacked the sea monster, pulling her in 4 directions. She fought back, biting them, but at least Chipatli was destroyed. From this destruction of this enormous creature, the universe was created. All 13 heavens stretch into her head, the earth was created in the middle, and her tail reaches down into the underworld. This is the creation story of the Aztec religion. I figured it would be fitting to kick off this video with insight to how the Aztecs believed it all began. The Aztecs can root their origins back to northern Mexico during Mesoamerican times. Nearly all ancient Aztec artifacts have been located in Mexico. The Aztecs strongly believed in the afterlife. It was the way the Aztecs died, rather than the way they lived, that determined whether they would go to the sun god or to the dark and dismal underworld. If a person died a normal death, his or her soul would have to pass through the 9 lives of the underworld before reaching Mictlan, the realm of the dead. Every Aztec believed that everything is divided into 3 parts: heaven, the world they live in, and the land of the dead. These 3 divisions were connected by the Axis Mundi, represented on Earth by the Templo Mayor. Aztecs believed that forces of the sun and the moon affected the balance of nature and required balance. They also believed this tied into all aspects of human life. They believed their activities were also influenced by religion, including childbirth, agriculture, and the Aztec seasons. The Aztec religion revolved around maintaining this balance to preserve life on Earth, and it was believed that more offerings they give to their gods, the more the gods bless their way of life, and the anger of the gods would be avoided. Relating closely to other Mesoamerican traditions, the Aztecs experienced nature in all its entirety. They believed nature was deeply connected with superhuman powers and beings manifesting themselves in countless aspects of the surrounding world and a sacred landscape. Earth itself could be viewed as a grand living being. The Aztecs also believed land itself was divine and that Earth as an entirety was sacred to the higher and supernatural God. Because of this, the Aztecs ensured to respect nature as if it were a god. Gods. The Aztec people worshipped over 1,000 gods. They believed the sun fought darkness every night and rose to save mankind. They believed the earth was flat. They also believed in 13 heavens and 9 hells. In the ancient Aztec religion, it was believed that the gods controlled all life from the birth of a baby until the death of an older person. Because of this, the Aztecs had to please the gods. The Aztecs would conquer other lands and use some of the captives as human sacrifices to please the gods. They felt that keeping the gods happy would result in good crops, good weather, and sunny days. The Aztecs never took the gods for granted. They continually tried to please them. One popular way in which the Aztec people tried to please their gods was through human sacrifice. They believed that if they fed the sun blood, it would rise again the next day. Though the Aztecs had no particular written work of reference for worship, they often used codices, which were beautiful paintings, as a form of storytelling. Codices were considered books, though they depicted pictures and had few narrative pieces. There are few original pre-Hispanic codices around today, and the limited amount that has been retrieved are held in museums. A well-known book was orchestrated by Franciscan Friar Bernardino, who drew on indigenous informants' knowledge of Aztec religion, social structure, natural history, and includes a history of the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire from the Mexica viewpoint. The book was only the beginning of 11 books following after. Calendars. Similar to codices, the Aztecs often created paintings depicting what the future would hold. Calendars were a big part of the Aztec religion, as they would often record information in the form of a calendar. If there was a trend of something reoccurring, the Aztecs would recognize this and depict the scenario as a calendar. With a small amount of narrative included, calendars and codices were typically written in Latin and sometimes Spanish. Myths. Myths were a huge aspect of Mesoamerican times. Lessons and teachings were often taught through storytelling, and the Aztecs adopted this trait as well. The myths were often confusing when taken literally and may leave one with many questions, though, when viewed from a figurative perspective, the moral of the story becomes clear. Surprisingly, considering the time period, Aztec women retained control of their personal property, inherited wealth, and could participate in public life in the fields of medicine, education, religion, and even commerce. Although women were expected to tend the home, cook, care for children, and practice weaving and basket work, another unusual trend for ancient societies, Aztec men were expected to bear the responsibility of bringing up their male offspring, though overall, men were still favored in the marriage. Eagle. The eagle was an important symbol to the Aztecs. The bird symbolized power, courage, and strength. If Aztec warriors got tattoos, many would no doubt choose this one to express their bravery, power, and physical strength. Aztec eagle designs usually show the eagle with its head turned to the left or west and its beak open. Sun. The sun was another sacred symbol to the Aztecs. Aztec sun tattoos are actually popular in our society today. The Aztecs had many sun gods. They believed that the world and people had been created and destroyed 4 times in the past. The present time is the time of the 5th sun god. Human sacrifices. This is probably one of the most notorious elements of the Aztec religion. The Aztec people performed human sacrifices regularly as to ensure that the sun would rise the next day. The Aztecs believed without a human sacrifice feeding blood to the gods, the sun would fail to rise the next morning. Seemingly gory and gruesome, this was a common aspect of Mesoamerican faiths. Quite similar to the caste system of Hinduism, Aztec society was hierarchical and divided into clearly defined classes. The nobility dominated the key positions in the military, state administration, judiciary, and priesthood. While traders could become extremely wealthy and powerful, even their prosperity was based on their class, and most citizens remained simple farmers. There was limited opportunity for individuals to better their social position, especially in the military and religious spheres. Many philosophers depicted Aztec morality as establishing balance. The world was seen as constantly shifting with the ever-changing Teotl. Aztec morality focused on finding the path to living a balanced life, which would provide stability in the changing world. Aztec poetry was closely tied to philosophy and often used to express philosophic concepts. One main Aztec moral was simply to do everything in an attempt to keep the gods and nature satisfied. Aztecs were not focused on respecting each other or human life at all, but instead to focus on their actions toward the earth and nature and ensure what they were doing would satisfy the gods and continue human life. I hope you learned something new regarding the Aztec religion and found this video interesting. Thanks for watching!